So now we are leveling the machine, and the first thing we want to do is establish what is the current highest position of the saw. That way we know we want to bring up everything up to that high position. If you start leveling and then you get to a position where you can't bring it down, then you have to pretty much re-level everything. So the process of that was really to set your recently calibrated optical transit. So this optical transit is calibrated and leveled. We are using a tool. You can use any kind of tool. This is our tool that we've made that sits on the rails themselves so that it can sit nicely on the rail as well as be high enough to see over the lift arms. So what we did was we took a measurement at every joist, every pedestal position, and found the lowest measurement. The lowest measurement would tell us that the height of that pedestal was the highest. So we wrote down from starting all the way from the outfeed, we made notes of measurement there, next pedestal, next pedestal, next pedestal. We couldn't see this right one in this position, which we actually eventually checked using a second position for the optical transit. But we have found in this case the right center section pedestal here was the lowest value, so it was the highest pedestal. And so what we're going to do now is go ahead, and you can see we're starting with jacking bolts, and while I am looking through the optical transit, Jacob will be tightening the jacking bolt until we meet our target value. Our target value was what we established at our highest pedestal. So in this case it was 7 24/64. And yes, we are going down to exactly a 64th with our optical transit. So we used a precision ruler that you can actually, 2 precision rulers that were held exactly at the same height in order for you to be able to see, I don't know if it's focusing, see down to a 64th on either side. So we will move our way down from starting with the first pedestal and working our way back in order to bring everything to that target value. If we have to play any games, let's say if we, and we'll go, once we get to the end, we're going to go back and check everything, because if there was any kind of a natural bow to any of these, it might actually, after raising one, you might actually raise a second one up a 64th or more. And in that case, what we'll have to do is lower it back down in order to then go ahead and weld to this position before then jacking the next position up. So it'll be a combination of, we might not be able to level every single pedestal without doing some welding in order to hold down certain positions, if that makes sense. So we will begin, and we're going to start everything on the front and then followed by as well as the back. So we'll be moving pedestals right to left, and then checking, or first left to right and then right to left, going back, checking everything. We will have to move the carriage on each time in order to, or when we need to check those positions, because we can't measure the rail with the carriage on position. If you didn't have a tool to measure to the rail, if you wanted to use the carriage itself in order to measure the height of the carriage, that's doable. Just make sure that you're using the same position on the carriage every time, because then you're going to know that you're just in case there's maybe a 64th difference between the height of the carriage from left to right, just in case. There shouldn't be, but just in case.